Ew. Why is that, Zetosura? Hello, Wandering Disciple. Hello, Silent Phoenix. Oh, that's a little odd, Zato. Hello, Tech Fusion. I exist. Not doing great today. Just have nothing specific, nothing that I can really point to, just a little worn down and having a bad day with head stuff. But we're not letting that stop us, are we?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
I got my Nintendo Switch today! Yay!
Cool. What game you got?
Currently got Super Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart.
Mario Odyssey you can put a lot of hours into. It's a good game.
Yeah. Probably one of the reasons that's one of the few games that I actually got.
Mm-hmm. I think the next big Switch title I'm looking at picking up, because I've got Mario Odyssey, Mario and Rabbids, and Mario Kart. Picked up Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, because I wasn't sure I was going to be buying a Switch at the time. But the next big one I'm looking at getting is going to be Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Ooh.
Because that's another one that I can probably... Oh, yeah. And if you're a strategy fan... Oh. We can kill dragons and make cool armor from them. Yeah, we'll get to that later. You can get your hands on Disgaea for the Switch.
That would definitely work.
Huh?
That would definitely work.
Yeah. Having that with portable mode and the ability to like put the console to sleep, pretty fantastic.
Hello.
Hi, hi.
Hoi.
There's people asking about you on the Terraria video comments, Silent. People care. They're worried about you.
So I've heard. I'm very, very surprised.
Oh, don't be. They're also worried about us and the fact that we seem to die a lot more often when you're not around.
Good news is I'll be back next recording session.
Oh, cool. So we'll see you Thursday then. Good.
Yes.
Good.
My daylight bulb arrived, and so far it's keeping most of the SADs away.
Oh, cool. I'm glad that's helping you. You know what? We're just gonna put that away and pretend that we didn't even open it up yet. I don't have the brain to figure out something new at the moment. Sorry for the delay, Cooper. Having a bad day.
I can definitely see why they call the Switch controller a derpy puppy.
Which controller a derpy puppy? What do you mean? I do not understand. Nope, just digging, Cooper. Starting tonight's our first chance to really get into, making, some of the root stuff that we need. I need to get some oak saplings planted, don't I? Yes, I do.
Yes.
Do not
Hello?
have any of those handy. Hello.
Okay, good. Am I not a robot? Am I a robot?
You weren't a robot before. You just said something about derpy puppy
good.
and then didn't answer questions.
Yeah, I wasn't really available because my internet was being fork.
It's similar to Age of Engineering Pythor, except it actually has, like, a quest line that you get goodies from.
Ooh, I think I would actually much prefer the Age of Magic over Age of Engineering.
And, you know, it's focused on all of the magic versions rather than the tech stuff.
It will be a very good pack for people who are just very used to sort of like common ones like Formcraft and potentially RS Magica.
Well, this looks like it starts with some magic mods that are haven't been used a lot, like roots. And I definitely have a big complaint with the pack where you have to find the right world gen to do anything. Yeah.
Oh, right. You're talking about like the moon circles and such?
It does have Psi.
Ooh. That is definitely useful.
It depends.
Let me put it like this. I am definitely going to be able to make use of it because I would already have all the levels.
Hi, Seth. Lurking in chat.
Yep. He's too cool to come lurk in the voice chat. That and I also think that he said something about his voice being completely gone.
Yes, he did say that.
Thanks to cold. But that's not going to stop me from harassing him.
It's your prerogative of his... Well, do you know what? I'll try that again. It's your prerogative as he's your minion.
Yeah, you gotta be careful you don't harass the chief minion too much, though. That's how you know, increase unrest and decrease morale, and eventually you get rebels spawning, and then your cities flip, and it's a whole mess. Wait, that's the wrong game.
I was gonna say,
I mean, you could do the same thing with your planets, but that's also the wrong game, so...
I've never actually had any sort of unrest issues in most of the space sci-fis space 4X games I've played. I know Stellaris has this whole faction system, but they always seemed pretty easy to keep under control. But maybe that's just because I'm used enough to Europa Universalis 4 that if there's a mana system in a Paradox game, I know it's super important. So I've always generated lots of influence, and then later on when Unity became a thing, Unity.
Yeah, with Solaris in particular, it actually takes quite some time for Rebellion to even become a thing. It is a thing, but it takes a pretty significant amount of time for, like, say, a huge empire to collapse.
Yeah, I more see the factions as something that you get to exploit for cool stuff.
You could be like me, an Atta noob who picks the xenophobe trait and just colonizes a xenomorph planet, because that's smart.
And work out. Another fun way to go in that is just to say, forget factions, we're gonna be a, you know, robotic gestalt consciousness or a hive mind or something, and then, like, play your own version of fanatic purifiers. Like, yeah, those organics, we don't like them. We're going to get rid of them. Basically, be the Geth.
That'd work. Be the guest that you wish to see in the world.
So, I'm not sure what magical Psi is going to add that, like, regular Psi is already pretty much magic. Why does it need its own mod? There's not enough stuff that, not enough packs on 1.12, Saf. So
It might be to do with integration of other magic mods.
Could be.
I mean, Psi, in terms of how it's built and put together, seems pretty not magical.
Really?
I mean, how do you're putting together... The way that components are basically put together feels a little bit more mechanical than just magical, in a way.
Well, it is a series of logic trees, isn't it?
But why? What is it about it that feels mechanical rather than magical? I mean, you're pointing your wand
You're
at
dealing
things
with
and
guns. It's essentially a very fancy, like, future-y wand, but still.
you've got a wand and a mana bar, and you design spells out of components. I don't see how that's mechanical.
I think it might also sort of like be the monochrome sort of aesthetic plays a part in that. Because I don't know why it's
being a pain.
Okay.
Alright.
Anyway, go on, Silent.
Normally, you sort of associate magic with the bells, whistles,
Magic
and
feels
spells.
more like a medieval thing.
Oh, I guess
it's often been associated that in terms of fantasy.
maybe it's because I cut my teeth on you know, Final Fantasy VI. But for me, magitech was always just the goal. And magic was the primitive version of that. So,
fair dues.
you know, extracting magic from creatures by mechanisms and then designing guns and armor that make use of said magic. That's just an extension of, you know, magic in my mind. It's not something special and unique to itself. Oh, maybe. Cooper. Can I even make drawers? Oh. Item cheating mode faults. Good. Yes, okay, there's no special extra on drawers. They're all made the normal way. Just iron is harder to acquire in this pack than it is in vanilla.
Ooh. That's all it was.
I should make a diamond hoe.
Don't know why that makes me giggle every time.
Diamond toe?
Yeah.
Because we have the maturity of middle schoolers.
I am an adult, I swear.
Or at least I play one on TV.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's been an Astroneer update.
A what? Astroneer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So apparently rovers are the actual connections between them aren't gonna be springy anymore. They're gonna be rigid.
I do not know if that's a good or a bad or another thing.
What would happen if you got more than, like, say 4 vehicles in a row? Would that the whole thing would just start becoming a huge spring, and the front vehicle would just start moving back and forth.
Sounds
Wouldn't
amazing.
actually go anywhere. Now it should actually be able to go somewhere.
Sounds like they need to increase their coefficient of friction.
Yeah, they did. Well, what happened at first was they, how do I put it? Not coefficient friction, but something else. They increased how, like, the weight of the vehicles at first, so that they wouldn't just go flying everywhere, and as a result, the connections between them weren't quite rigid enough, and thus springy.
Ah, physics dev.
So they had more elastic properties than the actual mass of the vehicles.
And that can be
Yes.
one of the downsides of early access when you're, basically relying on the people that bought in to be your testers, is instead of that getting, ironed out in a day by someone who is dedicated to finding out exactly how to make these vehicles work right now, but maybe that making the vehicles work at all gets put on the back burner, you end up with multiple incremental updates, all of which are broken.
True.
Yeah, well, it's the sort of like towing the line of releasing an update that either sort of like works or potentially completely breaks everything.
Mm-hmm. If you don't have an in-house QA team that is capable of testing 101 edge case scenarios, which most of the indie devs and the people who are pursuing early access do not, then you end up with weird things coming through. Are you not on push to talk, Tech Fusion?
I am on push to talk.
Okay.
I was just making a noise in reply to the noise that you made, one of, well, distress, because it was surprisingly loud.
I don't know where that noise came from then. Maybe it came from Phoenix.
Maybe. Oh, hey, the the infinite regenerating resource tower things. Those are gone.
Construe the X-Men universe as magical. Well, the X-Men universe is magical because it's the Marvel universe, and the Marvel universe includes Doctor Strange.
No need for any misconstruing.
As far as the X-Men themselves, they are extraordinarily soft sci-fi at best. I mean, there is a mutant gene which can manifest in all kinds of crazy, weird powers, and it just happens, and these people can do these things because, and it's all very loosely defined with no real hard and fast rules about, like, what the limits are, or how these things are powered, or where the where the energy that causes the effects comes from. Yeah. I mean, depending on which TV show you go with, the Scarlet Witch in the X-Men was using actual magic, as opposed to a mutant ability. or her mutant ability was she was incredibly good at magic.
Or if you go with the various DC universes that we have around here, like, sorry, the cinematic universe.
There is no DC cinematic universe.
Sorry, Marvel cinematic universe. Then Scarlet Witch was just genetically engineered.
Oh, that's in... I think there's a comic that does that, too.
Yeah.
I mean, with current ideas about genetics and such, that's the logical conclusion to mutants showing up in the world is, oh, there's a mutant gene. Let's start taking advantage of that through genetic engineering.
True. What I'm talking about is the one where Fox basically said, "Hey, no mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because that's still our IP, our intellectual property."
Yeah, but then they blurred the lines. Look at the Logan film.
True. I mean, I guess they're playing a bit looser with that now, but for a while they just said nope, and that's kind of how the Scarlet Witch got the 2 versions that we see in X-Men and then Avengers.
The DC people are stating over and over and over, Saf, that the big movies are all standalone except for Justice League and the people directly attached to that.
It's a little disappointing.
Like, they are intentionally trying to set themselves up as not competing with the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they don't want those comparisons. Because they've decided that those comparisons are going to be worse for business than better. Whether you decide to believe...
So go ahead, sorry.
Whether you decide to believe those people or not, I gotta set that squelch back up on this channel where when I talk, everyone else is muted.
That would probably work.
It has in the past. Now I just need it to do like a big booming, Mentat is talking, when it happens too. But no, whether you decide to believe the bigwigs or not is another question, because headcanon and fan canon tends to be much more important to people than whatever the actual authorial canon is.
Sorry about that.
It's fine.
Oh god, there's a big world hole! Whee! Flying upwards. Yeah, my save is broken.
New update, new save. Isn't that how those early access games go?
Yeah, well, the thing is, it changed a tiny thing about World Gen, but now I have these huge world holes.
That's all you need to do. Tweak the algorithm, break a world.
The side. That was going so well, too. No, that's a
Run out of strawberry salad. Good thing I've got more baking now. Well, really? Baking? Same difference.
Yay, Super Mario Odyssey is downloading.
in my inventory. Good. It's a good place for it. What do we need? We need wild root, potato, wheat, poppies. Do I have poppies? No. Alright. Wild root weights. Moon glow, oak leaves, birch leaves, oak and birch saplings. Also wait. Terra moss, spruce saplings, and leaves. Nope.
Oh, come on.
Maybe tomorrow then.
All the grass is all back in place, and it's on top of the solar panel.
Okay.
Game? Yeah, that's what happens whenever they tweak generation. It replaces all of the terrain decoration back in the place that it normally would be according to the original height map.
Makes sense to me. Are you still trying to salvage that save?
No, I actually scrapped that second save. I'm going back into the original one to test out with the rover connection stiffness. It is significantly better, but also significantly more bouncy. Oh my god. It's better in that I'm not getting things that are actually moving around all over the place behind me.
It is better and also worse.
In that I am still getting the springy spring. Spring?
They're just gonna walk around the edge, aren't they? Die.
Yes, that is indeed a mod in this pack. I'll refrain from making that joke in the future.
Okay. Why am I making it 3 dirt layers deep? Reasons.
Okay, now I see the problem. The problem is that due to that connection, the traction of all the other vehicles comes in all at once, which just slows down the whole train. Okay.
Another update, another interesting way that things are broken.
Yep.
Go see about bringing things over from the old place. And I should probably put in a gate. I mean, I don't have a good reason for why I'm making the dirt platform that thick, other than I'll be able to dig down later. I doubt that your way is stupid. A lot of the times I do things just because that's the way I do things. Oh, yep, that's where all of my materials were. I hadn't gotten the organics chest moved yet. I remember how to make a efficiently up pumpkin. And is that even going to be worth my time? Try to get maximum rate of pumpkin growth per pumpkin? Probably not. Probably better off just planting more pumpkin.
Okay, game just froze right in the middle of me trying to do a thing. Yay! Pre-alpha.
If only that word meant anything anymore.
Yeah.
Just wondering if pumpkin growth by pumpkins. Would that be pumpkin squared?
Sure, why not?
I mean, well... Wouldn't that technically be cubed since we're working in the cubic world?
But then you'd need at least 3 pumpkins.
Make more. So what are your current goals besides farm?
Need to farm for progression.
Ah.
We need to gather the various roots, herbs, so that we can complete quests and get out of the age of pixies and into the age of elves.
Oh, oh, neat. So you're gonna have to go find one of those moon circles, I get the feeling.
Got one right here.
Yay!
I've just, you know, terraformed it and paved over it.
Good to know.
Found out that it doesn't matter how borked the world gen is if you're willing to just build your own flat platform over where it spawns.
True. All you gotta really do is just make sure that you get it lined up with the lights and you're good.
Well, you can figure out which block has the mark on it, and then the top block on that area is what the mark is going to be on. Like, on that particular
it's just based
sky
on,
to bedrock column block is.
Yeah, it's just based on Z and X, not Y.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. I like that.
Basically, it's a Y-cast, it's a raycast from maximum build height. Going straight down. Alright.
Until somebody remembers his psionic terms.
Well, I remember basic geometry. I haven't actually done much in the way of psi.
Yeah. Still, that's one of the terms that Psi likes to use.
I mean, psi, that's why I never really got into the mod, is because I never found vectors to be an interesting thing. It's something that I can muscle my way through in my brain, but it's not the sort of thing that intrigues me mathematically. It's all discrete
really
math.
Yeah. I never really got to the point where how do I put it? It definitely took me a long while just to start understanding and being able to visualize what's going on before I do any specific thing.
Alright. Nighttime. I don't have an F7 mod in this pack. I need to add one.
Yeah, sometimes if you're messing with Psi, you'd have to write out the expected results as if you were like fully programming, sort of like from computer craft or something.
Yeah, I've actually done the same thing, Saf. That's, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what... It's the easy approach.
I just reverse engineered from there and then played around with it.
Graph paper. Your best friend when you're writing psi programs.
Oh, yeah. Regular magic?
I know that it's based on some anime or another. Basky's talked about it. I don't know which one.
Gun Age, I think.
The name of the different items is taken from an anime.
Ah.
I need more birch saplings than this. See if I can get some out of these leaves. Or if I have to plant some trees. Oh good, I got one. Alright, there's the poppies, here's some seeds, potatoes I need. And I used all my bone meal. Didn't use all my bone meal. Oh well.
Scaly man hunting.
One option. So it's just, you know, waiting. But I've been informed that I have more patience than the average modded Minecraft player.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
That, and you're also doing a series on this streaming series, and you're like, oh. That would probably help at least a little bit.
Not sure I understand how.
Yeah, I'm not sure where I was going with that thought either.
Okay. Grass. I need all grass. Where are my shears? Oh, my ear. Alright, so... Oh, but that's for the spruce. I don't need that right now. Don't know if I had any daisies available. Spruce, 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 lilac. Stop it. Go away. Busy here. Another wart in the center for the... Oh, wow, that's a lot of zombies. That's more like it. Eat poppy poppy potato. Poppy. There.
Howie?
Now we
That was
just
an interesting.
leave that for a while. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, just like seeing the exact text. What was it? Onomatopoeias that you see
Okay.
whenever you hit, like, say a zombie and crit. It said Howie earlier, and I'm like, huh.
Oh yeah, I mean these are like Batman, like Adam West Batman impact noise mod or whatever.
It's utterly silly.
I mean the intent was to imply impact without getting into enough violence that they'd run into trouble with the advertising regulations.
I think I recall that. I believe that was Bronze Age, wasn't it?
Oh no, I'm talking the actual TV show.
Oh, right.
What's your favorite silent?
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
spiders
great.
with the realistic movement mod.
Oh, you.
Painful.
Where they actually, you know, rear up their front legs and dive at you that way.
Well, at least you can tell when they're gonna attack.
It's one of those mods that should be in every pack. I understand why it isn't, though. It's very computationally demanding.
One of those, if you have the computational power, you should be adding it if you're going to customize a pack a little bit.
I certainly think so. I think it makes things more fun.
Certainly more visually interesting.
Preferred it when they were more polygon based.
They moved more like cardboard cutouts and less like spiders.
Yeah. Because when they fell on you, it wasn't as bad, but now they fall properly. It's just like, nope. New trousers, please.
Oh man, the way it came over that fence, that was amazing. You'll want to avert your eyes for those few seconds of stream. Silent.
Too late.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. I just sit here with the constant shivers.
On the plus side, it's morning.
On the downside, still spiders.
There will be more spiders, yeah.
Spiders?
They just remind me too much of wolf spiders. They're the ones that I hate the most.
Aren't those relatively harmless to humans?
Um,
I mean, I'm pretty sure wolf spider also covers a range of species and not like one specific one.
yeah, I was thinking more of the one that, oh. I'm sure the trapdoor spider is a breed of wolf spider.
Trapdoor spiders are fantastically awful.
I get
That's
the
what they
feeling
remind
I'm
me
gonna.
of.
Oh, okay. Google why.
But really what it comes down to is Silent's favorite movie is Arachnophobia.
Pretty much. Followed by eight-legged freaks.
See, Eight-Legged Freaks I haven't seen, but the promos I've seen have not made me worried because it's all giant spiders, right?
Yeah, it's all giant spiders, but the one part that I actually caught of that movie terrified the bejeebers out of me because loads of people are running across a car park and oh my god, all of a sudden trapdoor spiders.
Yeah. Whereas for me, Arachnophobia, I saw that when I was relatively young, and it haunted me for a long time because they were all like normal size. They were spider size, and
Yeah.
it made it more possible. It hit that suspension of disbelief for me, and then my brain filled in the rest, and then, you know, went down a screaming, gibbering hole of terror.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, seeing what I can do with maple syrup before I got distracted. And beef. I could make maple sausage, which then I can make into a sausage hero or something. Maple candied bacon. Sounds delicious. Requires pork chop or tofaku? Tofacon? Right. Maple syrup waffles. Maple syrup, not that grand on its own. Requires quite a bit of Pam's infrastructure before you can make most of it. I remember what the good early easy foods are, besides, you know, my strawberries here. I haven't gotten the rest of everything from the other place, have I?
Is that the Pam's Harvest Craft?
Mm-hmm.
One of the good ones tends to be spring salad, unless that one's been messed with.
Spring salad looks like lettuce and onion or lettuce and carrot, and yeah, that is significantly better than the strawberry salad that I'm currently using. Looks like it can be made with just about anything plus lettuce. Age of Magic is, you know, Age of Engineering, but magic.
Juices have actually been nerfed significantly.
Well, Pam's Harvest Craft does have quite a bit of a balancing issue.
On account of it, you know, being abused for other mods.
Partially that, and more even in itself, certain food groups, just there's no point in pursuing them. Like, pizzas, burgers, you don't even... Unless you have Spice of Life installed, Pam's Harvest Craft is just spring salad, spring salad, spring salad.
Oh, if you're looking to optimize, yeah, but that's not the point of Harvest Craft. Convenient pack link. hang on.
I think Saf put it in the chat slightly earlier.
No, that was a link to Magical Sigh. There we go. Just gonna copy that down myself.
Yeah, I've been living on strawberry salads to start because the strawberries are... You can make the entire strawberry salad out of strawberries, and it's a it's an 8 hunger meal. 4 shank meal. There you go.
I heard 4 shank as one word, and I was like, what? What word? What? I was very confused.
Alright, now, don't I need to, like, make an apiary for Pam's bees? I need item frames for that. I gotta get down to, like, some ranching. I need leather. Lots and lots of leather. See if I can lead some deers around.
If I recall correctly, like, there's some magical way of duplicating leather.
Oh yeah, there's ways of doing all that, but we're early game yet. We are in the patience and waiting portion of things, because we can literally only do some of what we want to do at nighttime. And if I can breed deer to get the leather that I need, that'll also give me another source of food and make things easier. And they'll follow me when I'm holding wheat, so that's a good start.
There we go, 2 stag and 2 doe. And a whole bunch of additional does.
Yeah, I don't know if the visible gender of the deer matters.
Probably not, but...
Sounds like it would be complicated to code. Especially since the deer are added as an extra from the magic mod that we're using, Roots. Oh, I hit the cap of you guys that can follow me without bouncing off of each other from collision and then failing to follow. Probably. Thank you, Saf.
That is super cute.
Oh, they're doing things. Got some wild root. Deers are derpier than normal.
which makes them cuter.
Hi. Hey. Like they've got a collision box that doesn't actually match their model. It probably just inherited the cow collision box or something.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, you can breed deers. And they seem to have a lot of trouble jumping up one high blocks.
I think that's just a
Much
thing
more so
in
than I'm
general.
used to seeing in vanilla animals.
Ah,
So no, it's not just a thing.
never mind me then.
Deers to the cosmic slaughter.
Horns for the horn god, leather for the leather throne.
Sounds about right.
And feathers for the clucky one.
Yeah. Baby deer are adorable. I approve of everything about that. Right. More digging, more fences. More trees so that I can build more fences. Wild root. Can I make wild root seeds? No! Every time I want more wild root, I'll have to do the same thing with it. Lame. Yeah, we'll get to buffalo eventually, Saf.
I do believe wild. Oh, right. To get the. I do believe wild root actually drops both the seeds and the wild root. At least some of the roots things do that.
Okay, we'll find out. You might be thinking of witchery, though.
No, I'm pretty sure it's roots because I was playing a pack with roots.
Well, it depends. This is meant to be the Age of Engineering version.
Blacked
version.
out SD, thanks for the follow.
Yeah, I think you can
Incoming
directly-
spiders.
Yeah, I think you can directly plant wild root.
Well, unless you've got something more than your half-remembered recollections, then we're just going to go with maybe, and we'll find out later.
Yeah.
But when I do a search for wild root, I've got the planted version and the plant itself. So unless it's its own seed... Oh yeah, it is. There you go.
This is what I was saying.
Okay. Then you need to work on your wording and thinking before you speak.
Yes.
Because you were talking about a wild root seed.
My bad.
There's nothing to discuss there, though, Saf. Anyway, if I'm sounding a little critical there, I used to have a blanket ban on any gameplay tips and help because they would frequently come in the form of "I think" and "I kind of remember." Now
Yeah.
the rules have been changed to have a go ahead and tell me what you think, what you'd like me to do, and what tips you have for me, but give me details and tell me why. I thought there was someone that was making a witchery update of sorts. I don't know. I'm way out of date on that stuff. Brain is just not working very quickly today. Swarm cognition. Have you seen the swarms that hang out here? I think cognition is very generous there. Ultimate.
Ouch.
Well, I mean, you've heard the line that a committee is only as smart as its dumbest member, haven't you?
I've heard the thing about a crowd being as smart as its dumbest member. Not quite so much on a committee, though.
Person is smart, people are stupid.
Committees are just pre-purposed crowds.
True.
They're supposed to have a plan. Doesn't mean they always do.
I'm going to leave that one alone before we stray too far into politics.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Crafty Dog. Never underestimate the power of stupid people of large groups. You know, I'd actually change that around a bit. Never underestimate the stupidity of intelligent people in large groups. It takes active effort on the part of every individual in the group to recognize that their opinion and their ideas are not just as good as everyone else's. And that there are people that are simply more educated on certain topics. And if you are not the most educated person on a certain topic, or at least somewhere close, then your ideas on that topic probably aren't worth much.
Insert Trump vote here.
Boom. I'm glad that we've got mob grouping protection thanks to FTB utils. What the heck are you? A poison dragonfly or something.
Yay! Super Mario Odyssey is downloaded.
Cool.
I'm probably going to be starting on playing that.
Good plan. Good game.
Yeah, it is more based around souls. It's just that the visuals are very bone-like. Specifically, the soul cage was made from bone. Soul bones.
Covens might have been what I was thinking of. Let me click that link. Oh, what that is a experimental spiritual successor of the Witchery mod, available for Minecraft 1.12. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Thank you, Saf. Darn. Hoping for a sprinkler.
Yes, witchery was the one where you had to draw chalk circles.
Yep. And included a fair bit of well-researched, proper Western European folklore.
That I didn't know.
The werewolves and the vampires and a lot of the witchcraft were built on, you know, old-style white European folklore. And from what I remember, last time I looked into it, it was all fairly accurate, and like to the folklore at least. Because, I mean, we all know none of this actually works, right? There's no cursing of your enemies, no matter how much you want there to be.
If that was the case, no one would survive school.
Alright, so it says that this only works under moonlight, but it seems to work at any time of day. Neat. Now, there was a fair bit of witchery that did have a, what could be described as a PvP focus. Alright, so we've got our wild root. Moonglow requires a white tulip. Don't seem to have just the red kind. I can change an orange tulip into a white tulip with alchemy if I could get into Botania, which I can't. I did like the poppet system quite a lot as well, Hidanolith. Ah, darn it. Well, I think we go wandering for a flower. After I check what else, what other flowers I need. I need spruce leaves. Because I've got the saplings. Yep, okay. I need a peony, because we've got oxide daisies and dandelions. Oh, we don't have the NEI integration, so I can't double click to search with a chest. Sadness. I think it's the more overlays mod is the one-stop mod to do all of the things that I'm missing. Circle magic was great.
Am I able to insert a shameless plug here?
Absolutely.
If you want to find out more about witchery, me and Saf are currently exploring that area in our regrowth series.
Fun, fun, fun.
There we go. Shameless plug over.
You see, you call it shameless, but it sounds like you've got a fair bit of shame there. I need... Alright, so peony, white tulip, and lilac. Pink tulip. How to know the world hates you. I'm gonna go looking for flowers. Immediately begins raining. Well, there have been a number of other magic mods that have come out and tried to take up the mantle. They're just not getting the attention of a Direwolf 20 to promote them. So they don't catch on the way that Thaumcraft, Britannia, and Witchery did. This mod is Roots, Hadanalith, and this is the first in many magic mods that we'll be dealing with in this pack. Apparently Saf is confused that you're playing Regrowth together. Silent.
Well, that starts to happen when you get older.
White tulips, good.
Oh god, frog gifts.
One we can take off the list.
JPEGs of frogs.
Okay. Do peonies show up in a specific biome, or do I just need to wander and get lucky?
Peonies, peonies, peonies.
There's some lilacs.
I think they're more extreme, not extreme hills, forest hills, I think, peonies.
Steampunk-inspired magic mod. You mean... I thought that was, like, one of the points of, oh, what's it called? Can't think of the name of it right now. The one with the golems that you can never find, Saf.
Embers.
That's the one.
Thank you. Run, 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 run. Clank, 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 clank. Peony. Excellent. Alright, only thing I need now is spruce leaves, not Bruce leaves. That's a different story.
Yeah, they got a bit of a kick to them if you try to harm fist them. I'll see myself out, that was atrocious.
I was trying to think of something equally bad, you know, along the lines of, now all we need is Bruce to leave. Yes, that's right. If your name is Bruce, we don't want you here. Go.
Why you gotta be so rude?
Part of my charm. Well, I mean, not very powerful how, Saf, like, this pack doesn't have Tinkers or Silence Gems in it, which is probably why it's never going to catch on as, like, a big major pack. But the plenty of tools and plenty of mods are plenty powerful when you don't have, Tinkers to compare them to. I'm pretty sure that, like, a number of people who are all, I'm never updating past 1.7, they eventually came around to, oh, look, there's actually some cool stuff that's worth updating for. And modded Minecraft in general seems to be moving on. Alright, that's probably enough pumpkin for a while. I'm gonna reduce this pumpkin patch down. This time I need pumpkins. We'll have seeds stashed. Or next time I need more pumpkins than I already have.
Yeah, I just think it would be cool to see a bit more steampunk in Minecraft. Stuff like with cafe raid tubes and that.
I believe that was something that Rorax went for a little while in one of her packs.
I think the bigger problem is that people hear steampunk and they have different ideas about what that means. There's the Victorian era technology takes you to Mars style steampunk. And that's the more usual type. Having magic mixed in with your steampunk is actually fairly uncommon outside of people in Minecraft wanting that. Alright. Groceries, lilac, and... Oh good, I've got an extra beetroot seed. Just the one, though. That's all I need.
It would be interesting to see something like a Da Vinci style, sort of steampunkish thing. More cogs and wheels rather than actual piping.
But if it's steampunk, then why not have pipes to move your steam around?
Sorry, you're gonna have to say that again, I missed that.
If it's steampunk, why not have pipes to move your steam around?
Yeah, well, there would be pipes, but I was thinking more sort of like they wouldn't be the main element.
I think the other reason that it ends up being piped steam is the primary mode of, like, transferring energy from one point to another is because we started doing that because there was a lot less friction involved in piping steam long distances than trying to transfer mechanical energy.
True.
Okay, here we go. These, the aubergine, actually have a seed to them.
What was that mod that relied a lot on turbines and mechanical transmissions? It actually had gearbox ratios and all sorts.
Rotary craft?
Yep,
That's the one.
There's one that has done it. There's been a few that have done ish like that. Yeah, Eberron was in 4E. It was actually one of the big, one of the most fleshed out settings in 4th edition. That can't be right. What am I missing here? Is it just one of each? Oak, birch, oak, birch. Yes. Right, there's our moon glow. We're getting places.
May not be the places we want to be, but we're getting places.
I don't remember where I want to be anymore. Spruce, 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 spruce. And grass. Spruce and grass and spruce, spruce and grass and grass. Spruce. This one's probably the easiest one. Hello, Kyle.
Later, Saf.
Asaf. Paramoss. It. And this we can mass produce a bit because it's cheap.
So what is it you need to make to transition to the next tier?
After this, we get into the Petal Apothecary and Britannia. But I want to do a little bit more with, roots in the Age of Fairies first, because rushing forward through the tiers is not my style.
Oh, so there's a lot more sort of this is going to be daft, but sideways progression than just purely linear.
Know what you mean, and yes.
Thank you.
Like, I only need to be able to produce the various herbs to be able to skip past roots and be done with it. Or there's a bunch of things that I can do with herbs instead of spending all of my time and energy on Britannia right away. Since I don't know roots very well, I figured I'd dig in and see what would happen. Goodbye, axe.
It's normally the last thing someone says before an explosion.
What's that?
Just dig in, see what happens.
Ah. That's Terramoss. Yeah, we don't have that yet. Dandelion, peony, and oxeye daisy. Oxeyes, our peony, and our dandelion. Will be the other easy one of the bunch. Quest complete. Collect all the herbs. Gets us 16 more fairy dust. Then from there it opens up Cheap Silk Touch. It appears that combining a wooden shovel with terramoss and aubergine creates a shovel that can harvest plant-covered blocks. Also weakens the tool, so we might only get a couple blocks out of it. Might be useful for moving some rare but useful materials. Huh, interesting. Early mycelium.
Ah.
I think moving around those various Britannia variations.
Also an option.
The particle... try that again. The particle effects for roots are quite nice.
Yep. Content deleted noob 2. Well, hang out, check it out. Not much else to tell you there. So I feel like with you talking that way, I do need to warn you. You're just here to troll. You won't last long. Okay. So let's get, oh, we haven't actually made a fire starter yet? No, we have not. Okay. It's okay. Easy fix. You like banana pools. Go. More fairy dust for freeze. I was hoping that would unlock another quest. Let's get this pyre made. Check out the Book of Natural Arts for more info on pyre stuff. Bananolith, they're just trying to get a rise out of you. I'm sure they know how to type in English. If they decide not to, well, that's because they're trying to troll. Best reaction we can have to that is to just not let them. Alright. Fire. Cobblestone. Use it. Any one of those herbs that we've made. Grab any and everything Pam's here. Like a Pam's chest over near the other garden. I don't like this one over here. Move it. real benefit of getting into Tanya would be unlocking the next age and being able to get some proper tools going, especially of the pickaxe variety. So we might end up pushing that a little bit earlier than wise could, just because it'd be nice to have a proper pickaxe. I'm going to craft one. Nope, I want more saplings first, Cooper. And I want something that lets me chop them down easily without having to jump all the way up the trees before I do the 2x2s.
Which mod is Horn of the Canopy?
That would be Britannia.
I thought it was.
Need living wood and a pasture seed.
Oh yeah. So still a bit of a way off.
Yep. Really don't want to do much digging with wooden pickaxe. Fortunately, I don't have a...
Not that patient.
Yeah. Fortunately, not a lot of choice in the matter. I want to get anywhere. Need some stone. There's nothing but granite on the top layers, it seems. Wonder if that's just stream hills or river biome in action. There we go. Dig deep enough and you find real stone.
Mm-hmm. Has this got chisel in it?
Yes.
Yeah, then you can turn granite into...
Or no, it has chisels and bits.
Ah, right, okay.
Hello, Thorclock. Doing alright, how are you?
Oh, that sucks to hear, dude.
Yeah, I hear that. Today's a bad head day for me as well. Haven't been able to shake it. Don't know what's going on. Well, I know part of it, but no. No reason it should be bothering me as bad as it is right now, besides the fact that, you know, I'm depressed. But we're trying an interesting new thing where I don't only stream on the days where I feel like it. And judging by the, you know, average 23 concurrent viewers of today's stream, it's working out. People seem to like a chill, depressed day stream. Yeah, and maybe tomorrow we'll actually stick to the schedule rather than starting 45 minutes late, Kyle. I hear that. I hate it when, like, the only thing I want to do is distract myself from the way that I am feeling, but all of my distractions are way too much effort.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to be playing some Civilization right now. I just don't have the brain to try to play and explain it. Heck, I'm not even getting anywhere in Minecraft. I'm just, like, running in circles, harvesting crops, and occasionally digging.
Well, it's therapeutic.
Don't worry, Yaizakura. I'm going to take care of me. Alright, we need the pyre, and we need the, that
He
other
has
thing.
an entire pile of zealots who are more than happy to tell him right in the face to chill out if he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
If she needs to, sorry.
No worries.
Still getting used to that.
Yeah, it's a process. And I'm certain that my complete lack of doing anything to feminize my voice is not helping you any.
Yeah, you be you, dude.
You're fine with your Discord discussion on the stream? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Cooper. Or, I'm not sure if that's meant to be discussion or decision either. Freaking eagle. Every time.
I know. I hate that.
I need to find that sound file and, like, make it the tip noise or something just so that I'll always jump. There's a Civ streamer that I watch, Quill18, who's got, like, an explosion that always makes him jump for some reason. And it's got, like, a sizzling, fuse noise to it before it goes off that he never seems to notice. So, like, you always know that the jump is coming. I like it. That's fine, Tharclock. I hope that the music helps. Free field.
One suggestion that goes that I find sometimes helps: get yourself some warm honey and lemon, because I don't know what it is, the properties of honey that affects endorphin release, but it just seems to help a little.
Mm. Wondering if that's also a potential, like, remembered placebo effect sort of deal, because warm honey and lemon sounds like the sort of thing that, you know, mum puts in your tea when you're sick.
Possibly. But there are scientific studies that...
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Me thinking out loud.
No, it was... I was just wondering myself about the... You know, I'm not even going to try and say it because I can't actually talk today, but...
Order pestle. Go make those. Need smooth. Oh, need specifically diorite. Ugh. I can craft out of quartz and cobblestone, or alchemy with stone. All right, so that goes on the back burner. Oh, we might not be able to do anything useful out of roots yet because of those the need for the mortar and pestle. Because you need the powders. We at least can't do the staff spells. So, spellcraft goes away. Book of the Natural Arts, we might have some stuff that we can do yet. I'm not going to be reading these out loud, just scanning through. Boost the growth of nearby crops. I like the sound of that. How do we do these rituals in general? It's not really telling me. Check the Book of Natural Arts for more info on these spells.
It may have to do with rune stones.
Well. Maybe.
Yeah, I just caught a sentence
Here we
on
go.
like the... Nope.
Storm of Fire requires standing stones. Not all of them do. So does the Ritual of the Warden. Here. Grove of 4 birch trees regenerates vitality of nearby creatures and boosts the growth of nearby crops. Like the sort of thing I want to try out. I hear that entirely, Tharclock. Music helps so much when I need to emote and can't seem to do so. But a lot of what I've learned in therapy is also very focused on mindfulness and paying attention to my emotions and such. So I've got a lot of skills to help with that exact issue, which has been nice. I mean, to go into detail today, I'm just burnt out and tired, and I know that a lot of it's coming from ApolloCat having lost her job, and us still dealing with all of the fallout that came from that. It's a rotten situation. It's nobody's fault that we can go directly blame it on, and there's no easy solution, except time. Working through it. Some of my sadness right now is just from putting too much of my own energy into being supportive. Because we have a habit as humans who care about others of putting others first when we really need to pay attention to ourselves. I haven't gone that far. I've been taking care of myself, but you know, I'm tired. And we don't have a culture, at least in what I know of modern Western culture, I can only directly speak for American culture, of respecting emotional labor. The amount of energy it takes to be compassionate and empathetic and supportive and, you know, take on those burdens for other people, and to make our emotions not impact them when we're doing so. One way in which that emotional labor gets used in the workforce is like, think about wait staff. They put on a facade of pleasantry and happiness and servitude. They probably don't feel most of those things, but their job, their labor, what they get paid for is to convince you that they do.
It's fairly similar over here in Britain. A lot of false pleasantries and smiling and that.
Mm-hmm.
Normally referred to as customer service zombie.
Alright, let's try our very first little bit of circle magic from Root. If I'm understanding this right, I should be able to do this without needing the mortar and pestle, just by getting some birch trees planted over here. Got a little bit of bone meal to speed things up. I wonder, is there any other fertilizer or something I can use? There's floral fertilizer. Okay. You know what? Let's try another thing then. Let's see about making another pyre. Right. Wild root for it, because we've got so much of it planted, we can get more of it easily. Let's take this over near where we've got our things planted. We can do the whole make trees grow faster bit that was described in natural arts. Regrowth? Grow out existing groves of trees into forest. Terramoss, oak sapling, spruce bark, terramoss spore. Ugh. I have to spend one of the spores on this. And I've got spruce saplings, spruce bark, terramoss, fire starter, terramoss, oak sapling, which I've actually got all my saplings planted for once. Good. Where did the fire starter go? Did I toss it in the roots chest? Did. Good place for it. Why? Right click them. Okay. Oh, much. I want to put one in there. I did not want to plant that. Alright, so you right-click your things into them, then you, whoops. One right-click causes fire. And, that looks magical. Oh, look at it, going around bone mealing random bits of ground. This grass and flowers didn't exist before.
Wow.
That tree didn't exist before either. Okay.
That is pretty powerful.
That's pretty sweet. Got a much larger area of effect than I would have imagined. It had spawned an entirely new tree, Tharklock. As it turns existing groves into forests. And you can see, like, these are the saplings that I planted, and then there's trees that are not on those plots that I planted. And then there's all of this grass and flowers that is new as well. And it's taking effect way over here. You can see it happening. Holy crap. Roots is cool. Just not easy to get into. Now the next question is going to be, how long does this last?
That's what I was just thinking.
But it's still going. No, this one doesn't work on crops, Kyle. Thank you very much for the follow, the Emerald Gamer? Is that what that said? You're a piece of toast. Well, only one thing to say to that. Yeah, toast!
Someone's fully immersed themselves in the I Am Bread game.
Pretty sure I saw an I Am Bread cosplay posted on Reddit once. Okay, so it lasts about that long. It's done now. Born in a toaster, it was dark. Aren't toasters usually, you know, kind of bright and cheery on the inside? Not the sort of place you want to be inside of, on account of, you know, the searingness, but...
Yeah, red hot heating elements. So that was about, what, maybe 3 minutes?
It was long enough to do all of this. Like, this was a mostly barren plain when I started the ritual. And we've got spruce trees going way out to here. It really did make a forest out of that little grove of trees. It's fantastic. Have I played Terraria? Here and there.
Says the person with several multiplayer experience.
It is certainly better at being an action-driven, gear-focused progression game than Minecraft.
In the flame from pyre. Interesting.
Doesn't ring a bell to me. Could probably look it up at some point, but, you know, I also want to be able to put this on YouTube later and not have it immediately demonetized and copyright struck.
Hmm. No, I was thinking more of the fact that we just lit a massive pyre.
Ah.
It's not irony, it's not coincidence. I can't think of the other one.
Isn't it coincidence? Star Wars getting a new trilogy. You mean the one that they announced with the person that wrote Looper as the writer? Oh, okay. Yep. I haven't played through Pyre yet. I've got it, but I also know Supergiant games, and I haven't wanted a SAD recently, so... Especially, I still think back to Transistor and the end of that, and oof.
I got halfway through that series, and then I was like, someone mentioned to me it wasn't a good ending, and I was like, okay.
It's a great ending. It's just not a happy ending.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
It is, and it's worth playing through. It's just, I can't describe it any further without spoiling things, but it's also not a downer ending.
Ah, right, okay.
Bittersweet.
Oh, I was told it was more of a downer ending rather than bittersweet.
It's only a downer ending if you, like, don't think about it at all. But yeah, if we go any further, we're going to get into, like, heavy spoiler territory, and, just... It's not a game you want to play when you're feeling particularly terrible about the world, but it is definitely a game that is great for playing for having an emotional reaction. So the Star Wars trilogy that is being done in an unexplored part of the Star Wars canon, from what has been mentioned. I'm excited about that because the director and writer behind it did one of my favorite recent sci-fi time travel movies, Looper. And I expect that he's going to do phenomenal things with the Star Wars universe. The trading card game I have no opinion of. Trading card games are a good way to spend a lot of money and not get a lot out of them. Darn. Alright, there goes all the bone meal. We need to wait for more birch saplings. Or we can try out the one that supposedly speeds up the growth of, Okay, so I can occasionally get seeds from right-clicking these. Good. I'm gonna start storing all of my wild root planted. But I think that we've gone about as far as we can with roots until we can reasonably get a lot of that diorite. And that's not going to be possible without Botania. So it's time to move into the Elven Age, or the Age of the Elves, or whatever.
I thought diorite occurred naturally with similar to granite.
Yeah, but I don't know what biome it spawns as, and I don't want to do a whole lot of digging when I don't have access to a decent pickaxe.
Fair dues.
Murphy J, I'm doing alright, how are you? Sonic Forces has a similarity with Super Mario Odyssey. No idea, I haven't played Sonic Forces. Do quite enjoy Super Mario Odyssey. Sonic Forces that one that everybody hates, though? Or is this guy just trying to troll me here?
No, I think Sonic Forces is the newer one that's more open world, or it's the recollection of the older ones. I can't remember.
It's the Sonic Mania is the new one, and then the Sonic Lost World is the one that's particularly bad. Sonic Forces is the one that you have the customizable character.
Okay. Yeah, that one's isn't that one fairly new? I remember that it like that came out recently, didn't it? With the customizable character. I know that the Sonic fandom community is all over the place on which ones are good and which ones are bad, and apparently the customizable character one was one of the bad ones. But I don't know. It looked fun. Looked like a Sonic game.
Gotta go fast.
Oh yeah, make your own Sonic Fursona, Darklock. And earn all kinds of wacky costumes throughout the course of the game for that one. So Murphy J, thanks for following. Bound Pickaxe of Blood Magic is pretty OP, but I'm not going to be making a Blood Altar anytime soon when I need, you know, gold. And don't forget the whole demonic will thing. That's odd, Tharklock, but I guess I'm not really involved with the fandom, so I don't know why that would be. Right, so we need a Petal Apothecary. Get moving. We make with Spirit Herb, apparently? Oh, that's an issue. We need Netherwart for Spirit Herb. How the heck? Well, how do I get to the Nether without being able to get a pickaxe? I don't want to try to, like, cast in place. I don't know Irish either, but I do know Google Translate. down into the central circle of a moonlight circle. Carved and chiseled. Right? Okay. There's a spellcraft book. Get me or a spellcraft thing that'll get me where I need to go. Time stop, radiance, light drifter, life drain, mind ward, petal shell, growth and fusion. Use the targeted block with life, causing vastly accelerated growth. I like the sound of that. Gravity boost. Propel the caster forward, allowing them to leave the earth and briefly soar to a destination. I try not to lick movies. Some anime, not like all anime. Thorns Sanctuary. Fear of shielding, forcing away creatures and projectiles. That sounds cool. Fire a beam of force into a targeted block nearby, instantly breaking it apart. Okay, so we need to get the spell Shatter going. Alright, so I need Diorite. Let's look it up. Find out where it tends to spawn.
There should be a recipe to convert back and forth between the various things by combining two.
No.
Not in this one. You need quartz to do it.
Ah.
It has the Botania recipes. The whole combine two thing is actually the nether quartz is in vanilla recipe. Most commonly exposed to the surface in extreme hills. Alright, so if I wander the hills, I might actually just find some. Schedule's down below, Smurfy J. Just scroll down on the channel page and you'll see it. About nighttime. We'll sleep first, then wander. AOT I don't recognize. Sword Art Online. I liked the first season. I watched the second season. Then I got off that train.
I prefer the abridged of SAO.
Oh, they did an... is that another Team 4-star abridged?
No.
Okay.
But it is... Oh.
Similar theme?
Similar. It actually closes a lot of the sort of like plot holes, and it actually is better than the original, to be fair.
Oh, interesting. I thought that Sword Art Online went beyond, you know, the Fairy World one.
I don't think there's going to be a third series. It seemed to end fairly concisely at the end of the second one.
Oh, maybe I didn't watch past that then. Maybe I never got to the end of that. Might have fallen off that wagon partway through Series 2 out of just boredom.
I wouldn't blame you. I stuck it through just because I had committed myself to finishing it.
I don't know, I seem to vaguely recall that they needed to, like, go up a giant tree that, you know, the damsel had been damselified at the top of.
Yep. That's the second series.
And, thought that I saw them, like, getting through to that part, and then you thought that maybe she was going to do something useful, and then didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, the sadness.
They portrayed her to be a semi-strong female character, and then second series, nope. Great.
Well, I mean, they needed a motivation for the protagonist, and there is no greater motivation for a male protagonist than rescuing a female, right?
Mm.
That was sarcasm.
Yeah.
Still a little cringe-worthy.
Well, I mean, welcome to modern media as of the 80s. Japan's not exactly progressive when it comes to views on women.
Mm. I'm not extremely familiar with their entire culture, so I can't comment on that at all.
Oh good, I can throw my granite into the thing and get my runestone. There. All the runestone I'm likely to ever need. Man, can you imagine actually needing the runestone to get the Book of the Natural Arts that teaches you how to make runestone? This mod is not well paced on its own.
Yeah, I don't know how many recipes are edited.
It's really not a mixed bag, Yaizakura, and if it were an even representation, that'd be fine, but it's not. If you start actually looking at the numbers, it's not a mixed bag, and you've got like 5 series where the women are useless for every one where the guys play the supporting characters. There's a reason that the Bechdel test is a thing that few movies pass, where the reverse of it, where you would need 2 guys to talk about something together that isn't a girl, is basically every movie that exists. There are very few that fail that test. And it's worse when you get into certain cultures that that are still stuck in the 80s of America, where women are treated mainly as sex objects in media and motivational factors for male protagonists.
That's too true, Burlock.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Of course the guy rescued her. That's how it works, Ultimate. Right, I was supposed to be wandering to try to find diorite, but then we got talking about, you know, representation of women in media. If you start applying, like, traditional academic media critique to anime or video games, they do not look good. I mean, that was, like, the whole thing that made people freak out at Anita Sarkeesian, was because she was applying traditional feminist critique to video games rather than just keeping it to books and movies. And people weren't used to having to deal with academic critique of their media. Or the idea that you can criticize something and still like it. You get a lot of that in games fandom especially, I find. It's either the worst thing ever and to be hated, or it's the best thing ever, and if you say anything bad about it, you're a terrible person and should die. You want a recent example of that? take a look at the people who invented a review that doesn't exist for Mario Odyssey, so that they could have a go at Jim Sterling. I have no opinion on that, Emerald Dagger. Never played the Five Nights at Freddy's games. But the very idea that someone didn't think that Mario Odyssey was the second coming of video game Jesus and had things about it that were flawed was enough to get the fandom in such a rage that it was days of vile and awful death threats. When I say I have no opinion, I'm not saying I doubt that it's true. I'm just saying that I don't care. I don't play the Five Nights at Freddy's games. And exploring a new genre is probably a good idea for the series. Anything that's standing out as potential diorite in these extreme hills.
Was that a dragon that you passed, or just some like...
Oh yeah, there's dragons. Heck out, this is a dragon horde right here. Look, there's even piles of gold on the ground.
Oh dang.
That's a hippogriff. There's some really cool stuff in this pack. But the initial wander and find the right world gen phase is kind of yuck. There's 2 dragons. And yes, you can have a pet baby dragon. Hey, Mr. Dragon.
Oh, dang.
I'm gonna go this way and hope that he didn't notice me. That happens to me all the time, Tharklock. Yeah, I was reading off the wiki. It said that your best chance of surface diorite was in extreme hills, and, well, I've got a nice big extreme hills area here. But I didn't see any. And, maybe there's some over there. Oh, that's granite. Stone, granite, stone, dirt. Stone. Wonder if that stone beach might have some, but it looks like it's just snow and stone. Oh well. Home we go. Hard dirt. Dragon nest. Z-zwap! Or maybe that was zwap. I don't know. That was silly. I do love the silly noise pop-ups. I do want to go back and finish Breath of the Wild sometime. probably would have happened already if I had the Switch version rather than the Wii U version.
I don't know, there seems that they've sort of like tried to follow Bethesda in making an open world with tons of side quests.
Ish. Thing is, none of it's required. Like, there are people that hop down off of the tutorial mountain and take their first initial gear and run straight to Ganon and beat him.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a speedrun thing.
Or you can explore the world as much or as little as you like. There is a pretty deep storyline hidden there for your amnesiac protagonist to go find. But if you care about that or not is your choice. Alright.
Actually, that's a fair point. Explosive mining.
Yeah. Generally find that leads
But
to
also
me dying.
gunpowder.
Oh, yeah. Hunting creepers for gunpowder. Like, our only options are killing creepers or witches. At the moment. Till we have access to cooler stuff. This is a bit of a drawn-out early game style. That is not what the wiki says. Natural generation. Diorite generates anywhere underground in rich seams in an identical way to andesite and gravel, as well as andesite, granite, as well as gravel and underground dirt. Most commonly exposed to the surface in the extreme hills biome, but can be found commonly in other biomes. So if the extreme hills is the most common, we've already gone through that, well, time to start digging. What that says to me.
Yep. Hope you find a cave first. I do like that the ladders now look like ladders rather than just... What am I trying to think of?
Could not even begin to guess.
The old sort of like painted ivy for climbing in the old sort of Lara Croft games.
Ah. Oh hey, her birch trees have grown. Well, I mean, I guess TNT can fix a broken marriage in that there will no longer be a marriage to be broken, and also you'll go to jail.
Every time someone says something like that, I can't help but think of Kung Fu Panda 2. And he talks about it being a parting gift.
I don't remember that bit. I'm not... I swear I've seen Kung Fu Panda 2. Maybe? Maybe not.
That's when the peacock first bursts in to the palace. And it's a parting gift, as it will part you. A part of you over there, way over there.
Yep. Hey, Anima. You have to stay awake a few more minutes to get your laundry. Well, I promise not to wrap up until you get your laundry. Started late, I figure I might as well keep going until late as well. Happy with them that close? Yeah, whatever. Though I cannot guarantee that we'll keep you awake here on account of the chill music and the low excitement gameplay that we have today. Wish I could make arrows without flint.
You're not able to get flint the normal way.
What, digging gravel? Yes, yes I can, but that's the only way without more magic than we have. Sometimes we need to cry, Tharclock. I can definitely hear a cave nearby. Or maybe a spawner?
That'd be good for some goodies.
Or maybe something worse.
There is no recipe for a cobblestone pick.
Oh, that looks like a mine shaft.
No. No, this is something else. All I know is it's full of spiders. Oh, there's a spider spawner right there. Ow. Can I break that with a wooden pickaxe? Yeah.
There's like you get a lot more spiders on the way though. Before you get there.
There we go. Goodbye, spawner. I could have built a spider farm out of that, but I think that Silent might have rebelled.
No, I'd probably take inverse pleasure of seeing them die in horrible ways.
And I kind of expected I'd get some sort of, like, honor parts out of it or something.
Oh, jeez. One of the things I hate most is just seeing their eyes in the dark.
Boy, that yawning, horrible noise that came from that underground canyon certainly, thanks, ambient noise mod. That helped my sanity. Well, I could just dive in and hope for the best. That's an option. I don't know how many more spiders there are in this canyon, though. Or how many more spawners there are in this canyon. There's a creeper down there. He's likely to do more damage to them than me. There were 2 creepers down there. This is gonna hurt. Whee! More boom. Hopefully enough to kill off that other one. Get a block that negates fall damage. Crud. More boom. We're just gonna corpse rush our way through this issue. It'll work eventually, right?
Yep, you'll just have enough. There'll be a small pile that you can just climb down.
Yeah.
I really can't talk today.
Wow.
It's just as well I'm not doing any recording.
I'm falling from a high place actually killed me. Left behind a blood spot on that stone. Got some underground clay. Got an awful lot of death waypoints to remove now. There we go. That's better. I found an archaic underground house from Embers. Okay. Sure, why not? It's like spider kit. Oh god, there's a spider spawner down there.
I think you passed some marble a little earlier, but I don't know.
Be right back. Have to hit the restroom. Okie dokie. Where were we? Right, dying in a canyon. Down at Y16.
Spider hell.
A little bit, yeah.
Any luck spotting any deer out there? Yeah.
Not yet. But now we've got a canyon to explore. Should be a little easier. We'll find out.
You can turn that spawner into a spider farm.
Yeah, this one's a little bit better positioned for it. Crud. And I don't have any lumber with me.
Do you manage to recover all of your grave markers? There may be some in there.
Yes, it did.
There it is. Spider dance.
Immediately that makes me want to start humming this song.
Spider dance?
There is actually a spider dance. It's an Undertale's track.
Oh, of course. Undertale is one of those ones that my partner and I started going through together and just never finished.
Ah.
I thought you were one of the people who would definitely appreciate the genocide runs.
I appreciate the effort of what's going on there, but I didn't even like 8-bit gaming when 8-bit gaming was all there was. I've always been a bit of a graphics snob, and Undertale is retro with a capital R.
Yeah. the only thing that's really like well and truly redeeming, I think, well, capital R, is the story itself.
Mm-hmm. And that's not enough for me to put myself through a very long, a lot of playthroughs, or even to finish the first one. I didn't get drawn in all that quickly. Like, I got to, like, 5-ish different enemy types, and they hadn't actually started to explain what's going on at all. And that's a method of storytelling that I understand is very popular right now, and it's not for me. What is that noise? Thought so. Which? Me dying a lot, starting to explore a cave, still searching for diorite and wishing we had some. Finding lots of clay and not much else. Looking at all of these lovely ores and wishing I could mine any of them.
Also a little bit of playing around with roots and their rituals.
I think Daedalus was here for some of that.
If I recall correctly, a hag is specifically a magical creature. A witch, though, in popular culture, it's just like a magical, not really magical human, but a human that's learned magical arts.
Depends entirely on what set of folklore you're working with.
Yeah. Just like a hag is more commonly associated with being a monstrous being, as opposed to a witch. Although in many of folklore, the two are one and the same.
So, the difference in what context, Anima?
Could be the setup for a joke. One's your mother-in-law, one's your wife.
Wow, okay. Way to go.
What? Could have been.
Been worse. Just finding that funny as a joke.
I'll just stick to dad jokes then.
Hmm. Why is there 4? Okay, whatever. Quartz ore from embers. Okay. Diamonds. Can't mine those either.
Isn't it always the way?
Have its own quartz, or does that quartz ore just drop?
Embers does add its
like...
own quartz or world gen into
That's
the
not
overworld.
the question.
Oh, never mind me then. Half listening, because me.
Well, then, don't answer questions when you're only half paying attention. The question was, does Ember add its own quartz, or does this quartz ore drop another quartz? And I was checking NEI to JEI to answer that question, and it looks like it probably just drops another quartz, based on the fact that there is no quartz item for Embers, and the quartz gem cap.
From experience, yes, it does drop its own I mean, drop nether quartz.
There we go. Yep, the quartz gem cap is the only quartz item that shows up from embers when I search for quartz and is made with nether quartz.
I do believe that will be within the age of elves, Darklock.
There are plenty of pickaxes. The problem is that, from what I can see, to get access to them, I either need to advance my age, as mentioned, because you buy them from the shop. Oh, the quest book is broken when it's on this, when it's on GUI scale auto, of course. I knew setting it to that was going to break something. There we go. And normally that wouldn't be a big deal because I would just be making a pestle and making an ember staff and using that as my early mining. Smashing things with the spell. But the pestle in this version requires specifically diorite. And diorite is apparently annoying to find. If I could get to the nether without it, that'd be fine. If the quartz ore had been adjusted to be mineable by stone pickaxe, that'd be fine. If I remembered how to actually get out of this hole I've made in the ground, that'd be fine.
Never mind. Here I am. That's the latency.
I thought that there was a way... I thought that it didn't always require specifically diorite. But I need to get to the nether to get to the Age of Elves. And I need to get the Shatter spell to pull that off, from what I can tell. Or I need to get really fancy with building my nether portal. I'm getting pretty close to that second option, honestly. Fortunately, I'm not going to be able to transport large amounts of lava easily. I've only found enough random loot iron to make one bucket and then the armor I'm wearing. And the sword that I expended. Another creeper. No clay buckets. Oh no, not that. Starting the fire isn't the problem. Moving the obsidian into place is the problem. Oh, come on. Really? I have a lot of patience left for this. I want to get my stuff back. Oh, I was trying to go home when I died.
There we go.
Welcome back.
My connection borked.
Yes, I could construct a nether portal that way, but I'd really rather not. I can find any way to avoid doing so. Darn it. And really what I should probably do is take a look at the pack page and see if the author has responded to the world gen issues that I'm sure some people have commented on by now. There may be an intended solution that just didn't make it into any of the tutorial type quests. That would be the next step of researching this. That requires me getting to somewhere safe first. And it's not a very popular pack. And searching in page for diorite, not coming up with anything. Yeah.
Okay. I'm on the CurseForge page, and under the comments in for Age of Magic is the diorite spawns in snowy and desert areas. I can't seem to find anything else referring to diorite.
Alright, well, I mean, I've got a snowy desert area right nearby that I've searched for diorite, and, well, no such luck.
Hmm.
And as far as deserts go, well, I've got 4 different snow areas on my map, no deserts. I'm supposed to range a whole lot further than that, then, well, I would consider that a failing of the pack. Anyway, we've got our grove of birch trees. Let's grow what we can. The Minecraft wiki also says that Extreme Hills is the place to find surface diorite, Yazukura. Still a little annoyed that Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, as far as I know, aren't coming to the Switch. Really hoping that they would when they were announced. No, we get a fighting game instead. Makes sense. Herblore not letting did natural arts. Full of life. Grove of at least 4 birch trees. 2 birch bark, birch sapling, terra moss, and oak bark. I heard an ah.
Yeah, the comment that says about the snow in the desert is from the model for Dark Shadow, sorry.
Okay. Is that, do we have actual official word on that, Yaisakura? Oh, I need more birch bark. Let's regrowth. Terra moss. Okay. What are the spores? Terra moss, 1 spruce bark, 1 of each sapling. I managed to bring any bones home from that expedition. I did. They are working on a main series Pokemon title for Switch. They're gonna do whatever makes them the most money. Yeah, Sakura. Right. Just click once. Not a bow type cast. Hope we end up with more birch trees. If we don't, grab your knife. Take down 1 tree for the bark. Oh, yep, we got at least 1 tree out of this. Nice. I'm not. I feel like we're having an argument here, Yaisakura, and I'm not trying to have an argument. I'm not saying they're doing it wrong. I'm not saying that what they're doing doesn't make sense. I'm saying I'm disappointed because I wanted this and now I don't have it. If I am wrong for being disappointed, then fine. But you basically keep giving me reasons why the way that I feel isn't the way I should, from my point of view. I don't know if that's your intent, but those are the words that you're saying. Here's the reasons that they made these decisions that you disagree with and don't like. Good night, Anima. Birch sapling, terramon, bark. Maybe someday I'll actually memorize some of these, but I don't think that's likely. Alright, that's certainly speeding up the garden. And I've got some sort of a regen buff, I assume, on me, though I'm not really regaining any health. Pokemon Company wanted to play it safe. I'm sure Nintendo would have rather they had gotten these things onto the Switch by now, but Pokemon is a exclusive third-party property, basically. Nintendo doesn't directly own for any sort of creative control. If Nintendo announces a new handheld, then they're going to be making a huge mistake. The Switch is the perfect Nintendo system, and pushing that as the way of the future would be the best way for them to push forward for consumers. We would get the most out of it that way. It's going to suck for us if they end up deciding to hedge their bets and continue producing handheld exclusive systems, because that is going to split their player base, and we're going to end up with more situations like this with, well, like a lot of the ones that are currently dealing with.
Kind of like the idea that from game theory that the Switch is planning to go virtual at some point.
Fine, virtual.
In the same way as the Vive and the Oculus.
As in primarily digital sales?
No, as a port into a virtual console, meaning there will be a headgear and the Switch controllers will act like motion controllers.
Oh. I think the Switch is rather underpowered for that. Maybe as its own special edition. But we're also still a long way away from the kind of processing power needed to make good-looking VR games happen on affordable consumer devices. Clock, the Switch is a great handheld device is part of the point, what I'm saying here. Having the Switch as their handheld future. Okay. So, desert or snow, huh? Well, we have multiple extreme hills biomes nearby. There's a glacier biome way up there near the village. So let's go visit the village, and then hit then the glacier.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be your best bet at the moment.
Before we go, take a bunch of gravel, make more arrows. Hello, Dio. Nintendo's perpetual issue. They are great at making fun games. They're not so good at the console business side of things. And I mean, they've got the money from their banking wing to basically keep doing whatever they want. But at a certain point in time, they're going to decide that it's not profitable to keep trying to compete in the console area if they keep having Wii U style things happen. So the Switch, in my opinion, had to succeed as well as it did, or they were going to end up making games for competitor systems. So, here's the thing, Tharklok. The price difference between, from what I saw, between a new 3DS XL and a Switch isn't that big. You're comparing the Switch to, I assume, the 2DS as a handheld in terms of price point. But the 2DS is not the intended way to play. And that also leaves out the idea that they would make a bargain portable-only version of the Switch. So you're not talking retail prices anyway. Nintendo doesn't care about you. You don't earn them money if you're buying things secondhand. To be blunt and mercenary about it, these companies are focused on turning a profit, and if you're buying your systems and games secondhand, then you're not a customer of them. You're a customer of the secondhand retailers. I'm just saying that their decision-making will never be based on you if you aren't going to be buying their stuff. It sucks for your ability to play the games you want to play. Well, that's unfortunate world gen for whoever lived in this house. Okay, I'll respect that. This is the nearest cold biome, and it is a glacier. We can travel the edges and hope, but this doesn't looking good for our aspirations of making a pestle. I feel like we've also hit upon a bit of the new boots theory of economics here, to bring up Sir Terry Pratchett, where people who don't have a lot of money up front get far less value for their dollar than people that do. The Switch is incredible value for the dollar, but if you don't have the money up front, you can't afford it ever. The new boots theory being that if you've got, you know, the money for a nice $200 pair of boots, it's going to last you 10 years, but the average consumer doesn't, and is instead going to buy a cheap $50 pair of boots that they're going to destroy every 2 years. Meaning that because the richer person has more money up front, they spend less money on boots over time. And that's true of many, many things in a capitalism. Wall near lava. Okay. Yes, being poor is expensive. I just always liked the new boots theory of economics.
It makes sense.
It also bears out in examination. Like when you take a look at the quality. Oh yeah, there it is. Good catch, folks. I was busy talking about Terry Pratchett. Ran right by it.
Listening.
Yes, being alive is expensive, and there's a pretty strong argument that it shouldn't be that way. But then, if you live in America, you get called a, you know, dirty commie scum and un-American. Yes, I crowdsourced extra eyes. No, Shadow Warrior. No. You missed half that conversation if you are rejecting the idea based on the, everybody gets what they can afford. Like, did you miss the part about the boots and how in 10 years' time, the poor person is spending more on boots than the rich person, because the rich person gets to buy boots with real leather and high-quality stitching and, you know, quality craftsmanship, while the poor person is buying a $50 pair of boots at Payless that's going to wear out in 2 years.
It also works on the fact that the richer person will probably use the boots less because of the lack of requirement to use them.
And the fact that they can probably buy a second pair. shoes last longer when you last significantly more days of wear when you only wear them every other day. Like, you would expect a pair of shoes that would only last 1 year wearing every day to last 2 worn every other day. But because the material has time to de-stress in between wears and dry out fully, by wearing them every other day, the shoes will actually last more like, 3 years. But that's not what the average person isn't going to go out and buy, multiple pairs of shoes just to make their shoes last a little longer, because we can't afford multiple pairs of shoes, and if we could, we'd buy a pair of snow boots along with our sneakers, or a pair of running shoes, so maybe we can get some exercise. Otherwise, we've got our daily wear shoes. Well, you still need to do maintenance, but I think what you're meaning is car repair. Like, you're not going to have your alternator randomly crap out on you if your car is under 50,000 miles when you buy it. Since those last about 100,000 miles. This is a very large field of economics that we'd be getting into. Any one individual example should be taken as, wow, there's something here that I should go learn about, not, I need to dissect this one example. Shadow Warrior. But...
It is...
Go ahead.
It is the basis for a hypothesis. It's not the hypothesis itself.
Mm-hmm. But to expand on it, in my area at Payless, which is a discount shoe retailer, I can buy a pair of cheap sneakers, or even medium-priced sneakers, for, let's call it $75, because that's what it was last time I looked. It's been a long time since I've bought shoes at a discount place like that. Oh, and I can expect those to last me probably 6 to 8 months of daily wear. Like I said, if I had bought 2 at the time, then I could probably get them, for 150. Then I can probably get 2 years out of that, out of those 2 pairs of shoes. Conversely, I can go and I can buy a pair of really nice sneakers at an upscale place for $250, and I will expect those shoes to last me 5 years. So $50 a year worth of shoes, or $75 a year worth of shoes if I've got the extra to buy 2 up front. I've gotten lost on my way home because it's nighttime and I haven't been able to stop and look at the map in the detail I need to. I think I need to go a lot more east, or west. I went too much east. I'm at the edge of my map.
I was going to say, you're generating new chunks.
Achievement, get how quaint. Okay. Encounter a pixie. Okay, that's fine. Yep, there's one. I don't believe in magic. We killed a pixie. I expected it to drop something cool.
I believe it should have dropped pixie dust.
Different pixie. This is the ice and fire pixie. That is the roots pixie. Yep, we're in the roofed forest now. Lots of dark oak wood. Alright, now I'm getting to the point where I'm running late, even for starting late. So, we're gonna have to, continue this another time. Hope folks have enjoyed yourselves and the conversations we've had today. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully on time this time, with, I think we've got something else in mind for tomorrow. Let's see. We're checking out potential spawns for the Age of Engineering subscriber and patron server. After we've looked through them and decided on one that we like, we're going to be off to do more of this and get into the Age of Elves. Since we finally have our diorite and we can make our pestle, we can start putting together spells next time. Thanks very much for joining me, everybody. Let me throw this up there. Y'all want to help out at all? Send in a tip, hit Patreon, or subscribe. There's going to be a server exclusive to the community who does any of that starting this Sunday for Age of Engineering. And I know that that's a little bit on the older side now, but it also seems to be the big, long progression pack that would be good for a server at the moment. And it'd be great to have, you know, partners to do that with, I think. And we've got the right kind of community to find people to play with. Check us out on the Discord, which you can find in the subscription down below. Thank you, Kyle. To get more details on who's going to be playing and partner up with people. See you next time.